Hello, my name is Linda, also known as Torta Jala around the internet. I love creative journaling and all things stationery. And today I wanted to share my process of goal planning as we are all probably gearing up to wrap up this year and prepare for the new year. I thought it would be fun to share the process I go through since I am gathering all my supplies and getting everything ready to dive into this process. So currently, I have all of my goal planning things inside this beautiful Filofax fuchsia croc in personal size. I have used a bound notebook in the past as my goal planner or goal notebook or journal, however you would like to refer to it. And if you've noticed from my channel, I do like to compartmentalize things into different notebooks and planners because it helps me focus on that one thing I'm working on and thinking about rather than having like everything together that would sort of overwhelm me. So I have used a gold notebook that was like A5 sized, and I just wrote in it. I decorated some pages as well. It was sort of like, I guess, bullet journal esque, just doing it page by page because it was a blank notebook. But I do fall into that category of people where, like, when something gets messed up, then I'm like sad about it and demoralized and want to trash that page. It's not to say that my journals are like perfect or artsy or pristine in any way. Really, the contrary. It's just that sometimes you get like something happens and you get hung up on it. And I actually have really messy writing in general because the more emotional I am, the worse like my handwriting gets. It just gets really inconsistent. But yeah, I'm the person that will rip out a page because it bothers me, or I want to redo it or something like that. So I realized that a ring planner would work so much better for my goal planner than a bound notebook. There's just a lot of flexibility to work like page by page, as well as to include a lot of other materials like printables and things that you collect over time. And also, if you need to redo a page or update things or whatever, a ring planner makes it just super easy. You can add things in, you can reorder pages, and you can set up things like again, like just mission mash everything. And the deco and sort of like motivational type of things that I include, it's not necessarily, practical or like necessary, but it makes me like what I see and use the planner more, if you know what I mean. So sometimes you also get tired of like maybe the decor you created last year, like you're not vibing with that anymore and you want to update it and change it completely. So if you have a reminder, you can redo things. You can update things. You can just refresh this particular page or just like the front cover, um, the dividers, like whatever. So I feel that using a ring planner just works really well for this purpose. For me, it's just super flexible and is what makes more sense to me. So when it comes to goal planning, I know that there are a lot of systems out there. There are workbooks you can buy, full-fledged systems, as well as planners that have like a bit of goal planning already in them, like in the beginning of the pages. I've definitely tried many of them, and like sometimes I don't find all the pages necessary. Sometimes I don't jive with like every single thing that they're offering. And I am the kind of person that doesn't really like to have blank pages. I usually would like cover them up somehow or make it decoration because I just don't like having it there. And I realized that for me, I just want to go the DIY route because I want to compile all the things myself because I'm sort of taking bits and pieces from lots of different types of systems, whatever works for me. And it doesn't mean that I don't use other systems or templates or information provided from other people. I do, but I'm like taking from lots of different sources and putting them all into this binder in my way that works for me. So, primarily for goal planning, like quarterly, I use the HB90 system by Sarah Cannon. It's just like a mindset kind of thing. You don't necessarily have to do everything the way that she shows you. But it's that mindset of like how much time do you really have, what goals are really important to you, and so what actually fits in for this moment in time in your life. and she has a YouTube channel called Heart Breathing, so you can go there and check out the videos and learn more about it. You can also check out the pinned comment on this video because I'm going to include all the links that I mentioned there. I am not affiliated in any way to the links, I'm just sharing what I use personally. But basically, I use the HB90 system as my foundation and I do it quarterly. But I also print out, especially at the end of the year, the Yearly Compass, the Passion Planner free printables, and Moxie Life free printables. So those are all like free resources that you can go to and print out and use for yourself. I'm sure you can find many other online. Um, and if you've done goal planners in the past, you can probably go back and look through them, even if they're for like a previous year, to sort of use like the questions for journaling and brainstorming and just sort of like pick and choose the parts that make sense for you. um, I think that everyone has like some good tips to offer on how they formulate their goals and orient things to work for themselves. So, I think that you can draw something positive from many different sources. And right now, I'm referring to the new year because we are in the moment right now where it's the transition end of year to the new year time period. But of course, you can like recenter or work on your goals at any point in time. It doesn't really matter. It's never too late. And it's always okay to like change plans and rework things if you feel like you just need a reset, because we all know that life events, they don't follow like the dates, months and quarters and things like that all the time. So whenever it is you're watching this video, know that it's never a bad time to like work on your goals, reconnect, reset, um, and all of that kind of thing. So when I want to reset and work on my goals and prepare for the next quarter or next chapter in my life, what I do is gather up all these resources and I treat them as exercises and ways to work through things, from my head, onto paper and journaling, all the like high level goal setting kind of thoughts. And sometimes they can be very specific in terms of like tasks and things that I want to get done, but they can also be very big, like dream kind of things as well. And of course, you can just use a blank notebook and just brain dump, journal, um, to work things out that are in your mind. But I find these printables really helpful because they sort of prompt you, to think about certain things. So they help to pull out thoughts that you might not like question yourself about, because I think most of the time we are very much concerned about like the today or the next thing that you need to do, whatever's like the most impending on your mind. But there are probably bigger things, or you sort of have to like zoom out a little bit if you want to think about goals. So I like using all of these kinds of tools to be prompted to think about things and be able to write about them and think about them, because they're all, goal related and just life aspects things. So I use all of these and it's like messy writing. I can write on the printables, I can write on a separate notebook. And again, it's just to prep for my own goal setting um, later on. So after reading everything and journaling and writing, taking notes, making lists, like doing all the work, and again, in a scratch notebook, on separate sheets of papers, on this printable, whatever works for you. But afterwards, when I have everything all done, then I will have a much better idea of what I want to focus on, what I actually want to document in this goal planner. And I just find this process very helpful, to get me to be focused, because it's easily like easy to get distracted. And sometimes you can like go on and on with like task lists and then not really think about the big picture things. So I'm just trying to make it easier for myself by letting myself brain dump and do all the things, but also answer these sort of goal setting, high level, important questions, and then just get everything all out on paper so that I can organize, I can rewrite, I can prioritize lists and like rewrite them if I need to. And in the end, the idea is to identify like true goals and priority items. And I do think it's very helpful to go through this period of doing all these exercises, thinking, brain dumping, all that messy, complicated work that can take a lot of time, but it will help you to get clarity, and that is what I do at the end of the year or at the end of every quarter, a week or more, to do all of these kinds of things in different parts. And this also relates to the HB90 system in that it's part of that beginning part of figuring out how much time you really have, and and then to give yourself like realistic goals, and then eventually like a solid game plan to follow through on. Um, I think that it's better, like, or more regimented than the aspirational thing of like, I want this to happen next year, but you're not really thinking through, um, not only if you have the bandwidth to make it happen, how it would happen, that kind of thing. I think that's why New Year's resolutions can be like controversial for a lot of people, because most people are just talking generally about it. Oh, it would be nice. My resolution is to do XYZ, but you haven't considered anything else in your life, if you have the resources to pursue it, if you have the time, if it really is a priority, or if it's just like a cool thing at the moment or trendy, and that is why you want to do it, right? So that's why it takes so much time to sort of like research and think and journal and hash it all out. And once I've done all of that, then I will be able to really understand like what are my major goals for this particular time that I'm planning for. And then I will document it into this goal planner. And this is when I can make things pretty. I can make things motivational. I do want it to look nice because that means that I will refer to it more and it will actually help me to use it. And from there, then I can plan like the detailed steps or the things like the milestones that will need to happen to get this goal accomplished, and document it all in here. And I also can do the documentation over time of not just the goals, but also the results and the reflections, and how that can help inform me in future planning. So each quarter, I'm basically doing this, and I'm using this goal planner as my North Star. Like, it holds the guiding things for directing me in my like where I'm going for everything that I do. So if you have a data planner, I feel like that's more like nitty gritty details, schedules, and that kind of thing. But this goal planner is like the big picture, the major sort of map, I guess, of things being documented, and that's why I like it being separated in this way. I just find it sort of overwhelming when goals and things like that are all mixed in with day-to-day planning and schedules. I just find it, I don't know, it is just a me thing. Like, it's a little bit overwhelming. It's not that your goals are not also tasks and things that you have to do in your day-to-day planner, but I just like having this goal planner separate as like its own thing. So when I'm using this Filofax planner, I get to open it up to see all the high level stuff. And it just changes everything for me. Like, the mindset is different. It helps me to orient myself before I get to all the detailed, task planning, like what I need to do, schedules, and all that kind of stuff. So again, it does take a fair amount of time to go through this process. It can be days, weeks, doing these exercises, journaling, thinking, reading materials, taking it all in and letting it settle in your brain as well. Especially during the holiday season, end of time frame, you're also reflecting on like the whole year. So it definitely is going to take time. So I would definitely recommend that you give yourself enough time to do all of that kind of stuff, before you get to the final details of everything. So that is my goal planning in a nutshell, just really quickly running through what it is I do. I hope you enjoyed seeing this overview of my Filofax Fuchsia Croc goal planner. I really love this personal binder. There's definitely a lot of pre-work in the writing and note-taking and brain dumping beforehand, but it eventually gets condensed into a concise and formatted way, pages to add into this goal planner. I hope this has been helpful. Please do share if you have resources or goal setting processes that work really well for you because I'm always open to learning more and adding to my own process. Any useful tidbits would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day and I wish you all the best on your goal setting, especially for a new year when it is just a nice time to reset and reorient yourself for the coming new year. Thanks so much again for watching and supporting me, and until next time, bye.